Taylor goes home, pours herself a big drink of water, chugs it down, and I was like...
And then dies.
Well... Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we're inching through worm. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ted.
And this time we read The Mannequin Fight. Plague 12.7.
Skitter versus Mannequin.
I underestimated Skitter. I thought she wasn't going to be able to pull it off. I thought she was going to need, outside interference.
Yeah.
She did get a little help, but, pretty much she took that guy down.
Yeah, well, you fought to a draw.
Yes, fought to a draw. But you know what? Against Mannequin, that's incredibly impressive.
It is incredibly impressive. And definitely, he left before she could beat him for real,
Yeah, potentially she could have if he'd stayed. Although, she was also flagging, so was probably for both of their benefit that he left.
Yes. Yeah. I'd like to think that Alan was worried about what would happen to him if he stayed.
Was that his name? Alan?
I think so.
Okay, nice.
Well, do you want me to remind you?
I would love to hear everything about it,
fight?
Especially Mannequin's first name, which I apparently don't remember.
I think it's Alan Graham. The reason I remember is because this is the second Alan we've met, and they're both terrible. It's Alan Barnes.
Oh, yeah,
and then Alan Graham.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, Mannequin, as he goes by these days, basically spends the first few pages of the chapter completely destroying Skitter. She, is basically just trying to dodge his aggressive advances on her. And during one of her retreats, she tries to use her bugs for visual cover, and Mannequin is able to find her right away, knock her down, grab her, and attempt to slit her throat.
Yeah.
In that moment, she decides to play dead.
Yeah.
She collapses to the ground, she sputters and grunts, and she has all of her bugs basically stop moving immediately in that moment. So, the civilians in the warehouse are screaming, and Mannequin starts performatively sharpening some of his blades, jutting out of his different limbs. And Taylor's just like, I'm buying myself time to think. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She knows that Mannequin has some way to sense her when she is hiding in her bugs. She's not sure what that is. She knows that Mannequin is smart. She knows that his deal is these self-sustaining ecosystems that, will be designed to be impenetrable, more or less. There wouldn't be obvious weaknesses. He's a very experienced supervillain, so if he had weaknesses, he's probably patched them by now. Kind of the way that Taylor always learns from her mistakes. She's giving that affordance to Mannequin. She tries to think okay, well, what's his story? I know he had a wife and kids that died. Why does he choose to look like a mannequin? Is it just misdirection? He doesn't have a circulatory system. So the head parts don't have to be in the head. The heart parts don't have to be in the torso. Trying to think that through. What are the weaknesses? Sudden blunt force trauma, heat, cold. Okay, taking a step back, she's like, bugs fight hard-shelled opponents all the time. There are probably solutions there. And then she has a spark of inspiration. She doesn't think it's a good plan. And unfortunately, it's going to take a couple of minutes because she has to have her bugs bring supplies. So she's like, okay, I've got a plan, but I have to survive for 2 minutes.
Before she can even start.
Before she can even start seeing if that works. And she comes up with a couple of backup plans that she knows won't work. She's basically pretending to be dead. She's like, it's so hard to stay still when he's menacing my people. And she finally hears a kid crying, "Mommy," And Mannequin, seems to have picked this kid as his target because suddenly the scraping of blades goes still. Mm-hmm. And Taylor can't wait any longer. She, in a single moment, jumps up, starts taunting Mannequin and charging him. But he doesn't care about fighting Skitter right away. He's going to continue attacking the mother and toddler that he was previously targeting. He does not respond to her verbal taunts, and Taylor just basically throws herself at his legs to knock them both over. She tells the civilians to run. Mannequin cuts them down, even though some of the other Skitterland citizens are
yes,
helping her out, and they fall into the floor. But Mannequin is very flexible and reconfigurable and ends up using one of his feet to basically get her in a headlock and start lifting her off of the ground. He has sort of blades that he shoots out that spin around, and she starts wildly stabbing with her knife, trying to get him off of her, and he throws her across the room. Of course, he can throw her across the room without letting go of her because he has these chain segments attaching his limbs. So he throws his hand on a thing of chain all the way across the room with her. But she finally uses her knife to pry the hand off. And she's like, okay, has it even been a minute? This is going so badly again already. Could I survive? Will all of the skitizens survive?
The skitizens!
She reflects again, what's going on behind, his expressionless shell? And then she's like, it doesn't matter. Time to start my plans that I almost certainly know won't work. She swarms him with bugs, getting into all of the, crevices in his armor, and is unsurprised to find that if she gets the bugs under the surface, it's completely impervious. There's nothing for her to crawl into or latch onto. And he's able to just kind of use heat or gas or something to immediately destroy the bugs, seconds after she covers him. So that's out. She tries to recover her baton for her next backup plan, but Mannequin figures out what she's trying to do and kicks it away. She ends up using a 2x4 to try and hit his long, narrow blades and kind of knock them off kilter a little bit so he can't use them the way that he expects to. And it sort of works, but he's able to just bend them back into shape pretty easily. So again, she was not expecting this to work. It didn't go well, but these two tactics bought her enough time that her swarm finally arrives. The bugs immediately start enveloping Mannequin. They're sort of sweeping over him and then flying away, and almost in a kaleidoscope pattern. And Taylor doesn't really fill us in on what is happening right away. And she's hoping that Mannequin also can't really tell what is happening. It turns out the swarm are spiders spinning silk being carried by flying bugs, and Taylor is kind of crafting a net that is being draped over Mannequin, kind of one silk thread at a time. It's not that heavy. An individual strand is pretty breakable, but she's looking to create a little bit of resistance, right? When the chains pull back in, there's some silk gum on them, and maybe they can't retract all the way. The same thing for the blades. So she's gumming up the works a little bit. After a few passes, he starts to notice that whatever she's doing is having an effect on him. And he starts focusing on trying to get rid of the bugs, cutting the thread with blades, and he starts targeting the civilians again. But Taylor has a phase 2. Other bugs, slightly slower to arrive, brought more of her costume art supplies. So an actual large bottle of glue, tubes of paint and dye and things like that. Just basically anything to muck up Mannequin's perfect exterior. And she's wailing on him with 2x4s. Chain is not properly retracting, blades are not properly retracting. He sort of comes to pieces a little bit to try and like, you know, reconfigure or to avoid taking a ton of damage from what is currently happening to him. And as he sort of like collapses and starts winding back in on himself, she grabs the mannequin head and starts dragging it away. But the chain mechanism is too strong for her to really fight it. And she's not making much headway until one of her skitizens comes up behind her. He grabs the chain attached to the head, and with their strength together, they manage to yank Mannequin kind of across the floor. And Taylor directs him to basically this metal frame where they can take the chain and basically tie it around the frame in a knot so that Mannequin will be sort of like rooted into this place. She goes to fetch a cinder block, but on her way to pick it up, she realizes Mannequin is back on his feet, and she immediately goes into defense mode, watching for his next move. She takes a moment to sort of like size him up, right? He's now covered in webs. Oh, she's been dangling like scraps of cloth too, right? And like all this lightweight stuff as his blades spin around, right? They're getting kind of caught in like a cloud of like junk. He's covered in like paint, all these different colors from the dyes and everything. His head is off right now. He's also lost an arm at this point, and they start playing almost a game of keep away with the arm, where he's using the blades in his arm to kind of have it jump around the room. He also disconnects his head entirely from his body, reaches into his neck hole, and pulls out Armsmaster's nanoblade knife, which she recognizes. But now she's like, my costume is not going to save me anymore. It's just about dodging. And Mannequin is cornering Skitter when she hears a crunch thunk from across the room. The same guy who helped her out before had picked up the cinder block that she was going for and is banging it on Mannequin's head. Mannequin rushes over. The guy runs away. Mannequin picks up his head, considers it for a moment, and then discards it. Moments later, Taylor manages to get Mannequin's arm fully aloft up to the ceiling of the warehouse, where she begins to wrap it in a cocoon. And Taylor taunts him, want to keep going, and he shakes off a little bit of the silk, wags his finger at her again, and then walks out of the warehouse. Taylor is on edge, waiting until he gets 3, 4, 5 blocks away before being out of her range. And as soon as he's gone, she collapses. She's physically and emotionally completely drained. Charlotte is there. She hears people talking around her. She's not interested in hearing either criticism or praise in this moment. She's feeling like she, hadn't done enough. People had died because she wasn't better prepared. She looks at Mannequin's head and sees where the chain had been attached to it. There's a little leak of oil, a small imperfection, perhaps enough for Mannequin to have given up on the head entirely. She goes over to the dead doctor, says, "I'm sorry, can't think of anything else to say," and orders her minions to dispose of the head and the arm in the ocean, and limps away, thinking that she had won, so to speak.
Yeah, incredible. I am so impressed with her. I was wrong about how well she would do versus Mannequin in a fight, but I was right about the net. And I'm very pleased.
Yes. Well, it's such a good... Again, in the last chapter, you had the economy of, she sees the improvised stretcher to... She delivers supplies, and she's using it to lift her bugs, and then the immediate payoff of her using kind of the same thing again in this chapter.
Yes. And this time it was to transport so many spiders.
Yes. And art supplies.
Supplies. She had an entire tailor's shop.
Art supplies vindicated after being disparaged last chapter.
Wow. Great point. So true. Yeah, it was so satisfying to see him be, gunked with all of the glue and the dyes. I'm sure the dyes didn't really do anything, but, just a moral victory.
Exactly. It's
it's humiliating.
It's humiliating, right?
Like you've been saying, his aesthetic is so important to him, and he's like covered in like violet and gray, and black paint.
Yeah, and that really helped me understand that moment where Armsmaster nicks him with the blade in the Armsmaster interlude, because I feel like if that nick was still there, Taylor would have observed it in this chapter. And given that he disposes of the head again because there's a slight imperfection, I feel like what that means is that that Armsmaster managed to get a little bit closer than Mannequin wanted in that moment, right? Because that Mannequin had to dispose of, because
he would actually have
right. So this sort of like perfectionism or whatever is definitely the way to get under his skin, so to speak. He doesn't have skin anymore.
Right, true. Yeah, and presumably he'll just be able to make new replacements for the arm and the head, and this isn't going to keep him down in any lasting way. But what we got from it is that neither of the two possibilities that Taylor was really afraid of happened. The one where he figured out how to destroy her in a way that, like, not just kill her, but, like, do something, like, physically alter her, maim her in some way that would be painful and debilitating for the rest of her life. Or that he was going to kill all the skitizens and just, like, make her watch. And both of those felt really real to her as possibilities. And she fought him well enough that he did neither thing.
Yes.
And
it's not like he didn't try, right? Like,
no, it's true.
Like, it is another example, right, of Taylor being underestimated, right?
Yes.
Like, that is the thing that, like, nobody has come to fight Skitter and thought, I better bring my A game, right? Like nobody has done that yet. She's underestimated yet again, but Mannequin's not dumb, I think, in the way that he responds to her, right?
No.
He thinks that he's killed her, right?
Yeah.
There's sort of the question of, like, how was he sensing her? Was it heat or some other kind of thing?
Out, really.
Like, it kind of just makes sense to me, like, if he has sort of an infrared vision, he could see, like, it's enough to see her body heat, but not enough to see whether she's obviously breathing, right? Like, something like that.
Not enough to see if her body is cooling at the rate that it should be. Like, that would be quite, especially through the costume, how would you tell that quickly? Yeah.
And I'm not sure that it matters. Like, she thinks, like, if it was, like, echolocation, then my bugs probably would have heard it. So it's got to be some kind of thing, but also not normal vision. But anyway, he's very happy to turn to butchery and sort of like psych out, the people in the room. Yeah. But when Taylor gets back up, he does not turn to be like, oh, now it's time for me to face down Skitter.
He doesn't think like, oh, that threat, I better take care of that.
He thinks, oh, she was faking it. Oh, she got up because she cares that I'm about to kill this person.
Yeah,
and then
I'm going to keep killing that person.
Then he keeps going, right? Like, he figures out what she's going to respond to in the most reckless way and does keep pushing that throughout the fight. Like, he is lashing out. He is doing collateral damage to the skitizens all throughout.
Right. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's a mother and a young child that he goes after.
Yep.
So that's what he lost.
Yep.
I mean, it's also pushing the button, of course. The young child's like, Mommy, I don't want to be here. And you're like, oh no, this child, like, I certainly felt that emotional button, and I know that Taylor did, but, like, that's also a button for him.
Yeah.
Like, that child's cry is what made him turn from, like, intimidation, contemplation, or whatever to, all right, I'm going to kill some people now.
Yeah.
And it's possible that because he was underestimating Skitter, he was like, well, I can finish killing these people and then deal with her. And turns out no.
Yeah. And I did really like, even when Skitter tumbles into him and knocks him over, he does make a point of, like, reaching out and slashing at the mother, right? Like, he's like, no, I'm going to make sure that this hurts, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if that's not sort of maximally efficient defensiveness
combat,
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he doesn't think he has to be maximally defensive because all she has are bugs, and he is immune to bugs.
Yeah.
But it turns out Taylor's incredibly resourceful.
Yes. Oh my God.
So impressive. She also used the spider silk on a scale that I did not expect.
Yes.
I was like, she already has all those threads for the sutures. Like, no, not that was not the scale.
Right,
of the
and her little
operations.
pieces come into play. But getting the fresh, like gooey silk is like what she needs, right?
Exactly. Yeah, the whole kaleidoscope pattern where she had them all organized to like fly in different waves this was a great chapter for her giving commands to bugs that she didn't have to consciously monitor. The moment where she's like, I need the baton, I'm not going to be able to get the baton, and she is in the middle of like dodging attacks from Mannequin, so she just thinks fetch to her bugs. She's like, I didn't have time to tell them how to do it. And we didn't really get follow-up because so many things happened, but I assume the bugs were like fetching.
Yeah. And we get the 2 beats where she acts instantaneously, right? She's playing dead, and then as soon as she has the plan, she starts getting the stuff, right? So like even though she's still playing dead in the moment, all of her bugs instantly in like her swarm are going to
right, but not the ones in the
work.
building.
Right.
Her playing dead was so cool, where she collapses. Great, well done. But then she has all of her bugs stop moving and the flies just start drifting down like snow.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so
incredible visual and great acting on her part. Like, I don't think that's what would actually happen. No. They would just go about their business. But I'm sure that looked effective to him.
Yes.
Because he doesn't know how her power works.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. It's very plausible. It's very theatrical in the way that she's good at theatrics.
Yes.
But again, right, when she realizes, oh, he's going to kill a kid and a mom, I got to spring back into action. Again, everything is immediately moving. So her capability to not just to move on a dime herself, but to control her arbitrarily large swarm on a dime is just simply phenomenal.
It's so impressive every time. We got the metaphor in this chapter. I mean, we got the image in this chapter, which is a very clear metaphor for other things, of like one strand of spider silk alone can be cut by a blade, but many together are strong. And I was like, I mean, that is how her power works. And that's also what we've seen in the story with the need for allies, for friends, for community, for backup. Yes. And incredibly, she does this fight without backup. Like, neither of them has their group of people.
Without Kate backup.
Yes, you're right. I don't know that it wouldn't have worked without that guy, but, like, he was clutch in a couple of, key moments.
The way that I read it is twice that guy helps her carry out a plan that she could not carry out herself.
True.
And the loss of his head, right? Unclear how much that mattered to the fight beyond like an ego blow.
Right. As Taylor says, like, there's no way he keeps anything important in that head. It's too obvious a target.
Yeah, I do. I'd be curious if you have another take on this, but he is happy to fight her, as is until he's lost his head. And then he goes for Armsmaster's knife, which he took from another tinker, was something that previously injured him. I mean, like, how much of it is it like a trophy? How much of it is like, he's holding on to it as a just in case, but like, he wants to fight people with his own particular aesthetic.
That would make sense.
He doesn't want to use another tinker's blade, which is like if he had used the nano knife the whole time,
he would have slit her throat.
Skitter would be dead, right? But like, so it's like very conscious that she pushed him far enough that he was willing to like undermine his image by grabbing Armsmaster's knife.
That's a good point, yeah.
And then
that's what the loss of the head really did. It cracked the facade in a metaphorical sense. Yeah.
And he's acting more emotionally, having seen, the thing that I built is flawed, right? Like the chain came out and there's a little leak, right? It's not self-contained.
He drops the head.
But the thing where this guy more obviously saves her life is like there are so many pages of description of Taylor getting beat up by Mannequin. Like, I tried to give a lot of the play-by-play just because it's so exciting, but like, it's just, it really is like, okay, so now she's gonna die? Like, okay, so like, she got thrown across the room for the fourth time? So when he's coming at her with the nano blade, right, like, she doesn't have anywhere to run. Maybe she has a plan, but maybe he just butchers her.
Maybe.
Except the guy has the cinder block, and then we go bang, bang, bang. I guess so. Right, he hadn't seen the flaw in the head until after the cinder block strike. But again, it was like Taylor had been going for the cinder block, maybe even picked it up, but then had to drop it to go into defense. And this guy connected the dots. It was like, oh, she was going to take the cinder block and beat up the head, so I'm going to do that. And he gets in 3 solid blows before having to run away. And that really turns the tide of the battle.
I love that guy. He's the only person who came actively to Skitter's defense. Like, there were other people, helping the other bystanders and stuff. And, it's understandable that not a lot of people were going to enter the fray against Mannequin. But, like, this guy did. Yeah. He lent his strength to her. He attacked Mannequin's head. I love the moment where he, like, sees Mannequin coming and he just, like, drops the cinder block and runs. I'm like, yeah, no, good job, buddy. Well, you should have done that.
It reminds me of, this sort of complaint that we have lodged against Cape strategy at an Endbringer fight. It's like, if you're Regent or Tattletale or whatever, like, what are you doing there? You're just asking to get slaughtered, right? And this is, again, it's like, you're going to go up against one of the Slaughterhouse Nine and you don't even have powers? Like, what? Like, do you have a death wish? Right? Like, but it's not...
No, he was very reasonable. He left
at
the time that he needed to.
No, of course, but you see what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not like you could always say, well, the rational thing to do is to not try to fight Mannequin because you can't, right? And we see both, Skitter here pull an amazing strategy out of her ass again, but also this guy being willing to be like, well, I don't know what the odds are, right? 1%, 5% that I get out of this alive, but like, I'm going to help. Right? Like, I can help a little bit.
And it's just so great to see her getting that backup from her people because, I mean, last chapter was very much like she had to coax people into obeying commands to help other people. Like, she wasn't even asking them to go into a dangerous situation. And now her people are standing there watching her fight one of the Slaughterhouse Nine for them. They all must know who Mannequin is. Like, Taylor recognized him. She knows his backstory. Like, most of them must put it together. And if they don't already know what he looks like, they're figuring it out. And they watch Skitter fight him. And they must be thinking, like, okay, I mean, she's a supervillain, but, like, she's got bugs. What is she going to do?
Exactly.
And they see her being, like, angry and defensive on their behalf, coming to their defense and getting beat up for them, but also winning. Like, that, like, what a show. Like, they should have had popcorn for that. Like,
well, it's what Skitter is Taylor's fantasy of who she wished had shown up for her. Like, ripped her out of that locker and, like, kicked Sophia in the face. Right? Like that is who she is embodying in this moment. The sort of, like, I will stand up for these people, stand up against the bully, right? And not, sort of for no rational reason, right? Like Taylor, the way Taylor thinks about it is like, oh my God, like, my obligation to these people is so strong and I've let them down. And that's not what they're thinking.
No,
right?
I'm sure they're like, wow, she fought one of the Slaughterhouse Nine and she won in our defense. Like, I think they're still going to be cautious around her. Like, they're not going to, like, flock to her and love her. But I think that the devotion that I want them to have to her, I think they're probably little seeds of it happening. And I mean, that guy coming to help her, I think is the first, maybe not the first manifestation, because I think Charlotte in the last chapter was also a manifestation of it. But like, people recognizing what she's trying to do for them and stepping up to help her with it. And to stand by her in this incredibly dangerous fight.
And I don't think this was the first time he's seen Skitter. Like, I don't think that this is just a guy who was at the ambulance and then she walked up, right? Like, was he warned about Shatterbird? Was he there when she handed out supplies, right? Like,
God, yeah, she's had so much of an impact already.
Right, it was like, I feel like he's probably been around the past few weeks, and he's had some feelings about Skitter. But like, I feel
they're
like
starting to put together a picture.
The activation energy of like, I'm going to go help her in this moment. I feel like it probably came from something. Like, we haven't seen him, described as like a bystander somewhere, but like in the animated version, if you know what you're doing, you're putting his hipster sunglasses and beard in the background of a few shots so he can have his moment.
I want him to come back. I don't know if he will, but I hope he comes to work for her. That would be great.
She needs more minions.
We'll see. Definitely. I do love this idea of him and the other skitizens sort of putting together this image of her. And it's, again, the metaphor of, like, you know, one single action doesn't tell you that much because who knows what the ulterior motives are. All the context, you don't have it. But as they're seeing this picture of, like, oh, she got us supplies. Oh, she beat up these gangs that came into the territory. Oh, she exterminated those rats. Maybe they don't know about that. I don't know. But, like, oh, she warned us about Shatterbird. Okay, she's organizing us to get medical aid. Oh, she's fighting Mannequin for us. Like, it is starting to put together the complete mosaic. I mean, not complete, but, you know, a mosaic of what Skitter is trying to be for them.
And it is important, right, that she is a winner. Right? Because I think there's a little bit of, like, in that first scene where she stands off with Battery. I think we talked about, like, okay, do you accept supplies from the villain? And does that mean that when she gets taken down by the Protectorate next week, like, they're going to come calling and be like, so why were you working with this villain? And sort of, like, just being tough and strong. They're like, oh yeah, like, she's a force of stability, right? Like, the government of Skitterland is not going to collapse.
To stand behind her because she is strong.
Yeah. Which is, you know, which is inseparable from maybe seeing some of her more noble side, right? It's that she's for us and she's really strong. Yes. Right? You know, you don't
she's
have to
someone
pick,
we want standing
you don't
for
have
us.
to pick between those two things. You don't have to sacrifice anything. She's the real deal.
It's wild that she's going to come out of this fight. She doesn't have a cell phone anymore. No one has cell phones. She's not going to be able to call Coil and tell him what happened. She's not going to be able to call Tattletale and tell her what happened. Like, no, the other Undersiders aren't going to know.
Yes.
I mean, we also still don't know if Tattletale's okay, but...
Yeah, it's also like, now that the cell phones are gone, right, the legend of Skitter is going to be passed by word of mouth, right? So, like, everybody in Brockton Bay for the next 36 hours is going to be, like, coming have you heard that Skitter took down Mannequin? You know, like, well, I wasn't there, but my friend's friend, you know,
Did you hear about Skitter and Mannequin?
Yeah, but it's like, you know, it's like, you know, newsboys running around, extra, or, like, you know, Maniac McGee, you know, like, just like...
Skitter takes down Mannequin!
The tall tales that, like, spread through neighborhood gossip, right? Like, it's the idea of, like, oh, well, it'll just be on social media, you know, like, oh, we'll just see it on the evening news, you know.
No, we're all analog now.
Yeah.
She's going to get an analog clock so that she can time things in her neighborhood. She can put bugs on the hands and see how they're moving.
Yeah, I just loved that. Her being like, I wish I could know exactly how long 2 minutes was now. So I'll solve it later.
And of course, she's
Never
like, yes,
again.
my bugs have a solution for this. She's just using her power for so many things. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, her costume is once again a major hero.
Yeah,
of this scene.
And that's another, right, like, it's come up several times, right? But it's part of what people underestimate about her, right? It's like, oh, she controls bugs. Why would she have a super durable costume, right? Like, people don't...
She's got this kind of weird gray cloth costume. I'll slit her throat. Wait a minute. Why isn't this working?
No one expects that yet.
Yeah, it will be great. It's a bummer that this plan did slow down the costume production because it will be great.
Yeah.
When all the Undersiders, mine is Bitch, have a spider silk costume. And when Bitch gets her spider silk costume, that will be such a moment of triumph for her being back with the Undersiders. Oh. I say, optimistically.
You're manifesting it. You're manifesting it in the story. Yeah, and it is also a testament to, like, she is sacrificing her own resources, right?
Yeah,
it's not she's just spending Coil's money, right? Like, she is...
These are her Black Widows.
Right. She's using
She brought these in. She made them have babies.
Yeah. The other... I'm sure we've remarked on this before, but the other thing I was thinking about her costume, right, is, like, the fact that she had that costume on day one, right? It wasn't totally finished aesthetically, right? But, like, she had the important part, which is, if I get hit with a knife... or, like, even if I get shot, I probably won't die from it. Like, she's just the type of person to put that level of prep in before day one on the job.
Yeah, she spent months making that costume before she even went out at all. Yeah. Preparation. And the thing that is killing her in this chapter, like, she's really beating herself up about not having prepared adequately for this. as if she could have seen this coming. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, do you want to, like, talk a little bit about how she's feeling? We didn't get a lot of time for reflection, but she's really...
so down on herself after such a victory. I mean, I really identify with this. Like, she is focused so much on, like, okay, but here are the ways that I wasn't good enough. Here are the ways that he could have beaten me if, like, you know, things had tilted in a slightly different direction.
Yeah.
And she got a few of her skitizens killed. She was not able to protect everyone perfectly. And so she, like, can't even accept the idea of people praising her for this.
Yeah.
It's real perfectionism.
And the, like, just real grief, unprocessed grief, right? She has this moment with...
with the
doctor. The dead doctor who's, like, eyes are open in death. Yeah. And she says, I'm sorry. And then she's like, I can't think of any... Like, she's like, she doesn't know what to do. And, like, doing the thing that she's seen on TV of, like, closing her eyes feels, like, trite or, like, unearned or something.
I really liked that note. Yeah.
And then, but she's just sitting there for 2 minutes, like... I think spacing out because she doesn't know how to actively process any of this.
Forward?
Yeah. So it's you know, it's a very realistic trauma response. It's a very understandable reaction, right? She's been on this adrenaline kick and now has nothing left to give.
Right. She spent everything and she's so beaten up. She's so exhausted. She's so emotionally exhausted, as she says.
Yeah. So I guess in this moment, right, I'm not surprised she's so hard on herself. It was so sad to me when she thinks, like, I heard a murmuring of voices. I couldn't take the criticism, and I didn't deserve any praise.
She thinks they're going to criticize her right now?
No, right, but that's kind of her attitude, right? Like with the doctor last chapter, it's not like, oh, she's being a hard ass, oh, she doesn't trust me. It's like, I knew what I signed up for when I became a supervillain. You know, like, so, like, she has this chip on her shoulder, and despite what she's done, she will never expect anyone to like her as much as she's craving someone to say thank you or whatever. She can't bring herself to expect it.
Yeah. I want her to join up with the other Undersiders after this in some way. Like, I feel like ending this arc alone would be so hard on her. I don't know if it's feasible for her to meet up with any of them, but, you know, absent cell phones, how do they get in touch? But it is really sad that she's alone in this feeling. And, like, she leaves Charlotte and all of her skitizens behind and kind of gives them instructions on disposing of the hand and head, which actually seems like kind of a lot to ask from these people at this moment.
Find a boat somehow.
You'd never even been on a boat, Taylor, until today. But I want her to find backup, both because I feel like emotionally she's going to need it, but also I'm a little worried about what the Slaughterhouse Nine are going to do. Like, Mannequin ending with that finger wag, like, first of all, so annoying. Like, so condescending. Like, this girl just beat you up and you're like, like, ugh, what an asshole.
It's a little like, it's not, you know, he already pulled that move. Like, come on, buddy. Like, do some new
You know what?
language.
He's tired. Shows how much she took him down.
You can't fire me, I quit. Like, that's the energy.
That is, you're so right. Yeah. It's like, well, I don't even want to be part of this fight anymore. I want to leave. But, you know, she just beat up a member of the Slaughterhouse Nine. They probably don't like that kind of thing.
No.
They might come after her. They are no longer underestimating her, potentially.
I mean, it's weird to think about the Slaughterhouse Nine caring about their rep in the same way that, like, Brian cares about the Undersiders' rep. But it is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
They're notorious.
Right. Yeah, and it would be so easy for the 8 of them together to bring her down, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They can't let this girl who basically defeated one of their members just keep walking around like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm very worried about what they're going to do. I don't know if it'll be immediate, but it could be. Or, you know, within the next few hours. That would be the most efficient, because then the story won't get around of, you hear how, you know, our local villain defeated one of the Slaughterhouse Nine. It'll be, wow, our local villain went up against one of the Slaughterhouse Nine and, you know, kind of beat him up a little bit, and so they destroyed her. Yeah. Like, that's such a better story for the Slaughterhouse Nine to have going around town.
Exactly.
And, like, it's possible, like, because they kind of turn on each other, it's possible that, like, Mannequin being defeated like this will make the others be like, all right, well.
It's sort of like blood in the water, like his standing will go down.
Yeah, like, wow, you let yourself get beaten up by this girl. Like, I don't know if they know she's like a teenage girl, but they can probably guess. Like, maybe he'll lose a lot of his cred with the Slaughterhouse Nine, and they won't want to defend him, and they'll kind of cut him loose.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know how they operate.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. The lack of a total victory means we're going to get blowback.
Even if she had gotten a total victory, they might have wanted to kill her for that. They kill people for all sorts of things.
Yeah. I mean, like, so you're pulling a cherish. Okay. Well, that counts as Crawler's test, but what tattoos do you want?
People who would not join the Slaughterhouse Nine.
I mean, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. We'd really have to find that keystone and blow it up.
Jack kills Dinah.
Ooh.
Okay, but if the Slaughterhouse Nine all come after her, I mean, we know that the Undersiders don't do a great job against the Slaughterhouse Nine if they all fight.
Well,
the Unravelers, maybe.
I was going to ask you about that. Mm-hmm. Do you think this counted? Like, did Taylor
beat the odds?
Like the coin flip? Because it was what, like 60% chance they die?
Yeah,
55% chance they die? Like,
that seems reasonable for this fight.
Yeah.
There was a really good chance that she would die.
Yeah. I like that narratively we're just living in a relatively unlikely timeline where Skitter's the underdog, right? Like, Coyle didn't have her back in this moment,
of course
like,
not.
She didn't have advantage on her role, right? Like, this is pure Skitter.
It's the real thing.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
And I think what we were saying earlier, like the fact that she won over the skitizens enough that one of them helped her, saved her.
I know.
And that guy's choice probably wasn't guaranteed. Like, that was part of what went into Dinah's numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think Taylor's skitizens might be her strands of spider silk going forward.
I mean, the other thread in this arc, right? Last chapter, she's thinking, okay, well, time for me to crack some skulls so these people can be saved from themselves. And Charlotte comes and is like, I will help you. And then in this chapter, right, she's going to get nano-knifed. Except this hipster guy, picks up her cinder block and keeps going, right? So, like, I feel like I am worried about how exhausted Taylor is, how close to the edge she is, with She's Lisa and Danny in such dire straits, right? And then we're getting these glimpses of, like, this community around her may be able to cast some silk threads her way.
Oh, yeah.
But, it doesn't feel... Like, there are these little, like, moments of, like, hope, but it definitely doesn't feel, like, nice and stable and good. It feels like, oh, God, how are we going to get through another day of this?
Right. Does she get to have, like, a healing night's sleep? Or are the Slaughterhouse Nine starting their trials for people and she needs to get involved? Like, how are we even going to know what's happening? Because no one has phones?
Yeah.
Very unclear. I wonder if Coyle will have someone show up with a phone for her.
I mean,
that would be such a bad idea, though, because Shatterbird is still around. Yeah. Tin can with a really long string.
I gotta say, we don't know about how Shatterbird's power works, but presumably there's some reason why she can't do this every day.
I wouldn't think so.
Then why wouldn't she? Is the idea just like no glass in the city ever? Or is it like...
I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, this is why I'm wondering, like, why do people still have glass in their lives? It's because it's super useful. But while you know that the Slaughterhouse Nine are there and active, it seems stupid to bring more glass into your life. But
maybe there's like a tinker tech, like,
That's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Coyle had access to some kind of phone that could work, even if Shatterbird sings
all
again.
All plastic-alike, But I guess it would need to be like, the circuitry would need to be insulated as well. So, I'm not sure. It's interesting. We'll see. We'll see if there's
We still
any
haven't gotten
technology
the
in
water
future
supply
chapters.
thing because we were so focused on this mannequin fight.
Oh my God, yeah.
So...
Taylor goes home, pours herself a big drink of water, chugs it down, and was like...
And then dies.
Well...
That would be dramatic, if short-lived.
Did you have any other impressions or thoughts about Mannequin? I mean, he's annoying. He's smart. He's tough.
Yeah, that seems about right. The perfectionism on his end was also interesting. The fact that any tiny chink in his armor means that something has to be fully discarded. does fit with what we know of him with the, like, fully enclosed thing. Like, he's not going to have any vulnerabilities, emotional or physical. Yeah, his reversion to condescension, I feel like, said more about his character than, we'd gotten from the fight. He just has to do that finger wag.
Yeah, that also makes me think, again, right, back to Colin's chapter, given how emotionally he responds to the webbing attacks here, I do think Colin really got under his skin.
Oh,
right, like that wasn't so much a calculated mannequin, right?
Right, because we do see that he is not always calculated here.
Yeah.
Despite his wish to be.
I loved just the way Taylor thinks about Mannequin, but does not need to understand or solve the mystery of Mannequin in order to win, right? Like,
yeah, true.
Like, Tattletale in this situation like has to figure out what makes him tick and like manipulate him, and she would be able to do that. But Skitter, like, she does think about it. She's like, okay, what does it mean? He's this.
If I were Mannequin,
he's featureless, right? Like,
do?
Mannequin's smart. He learns like me, right? She's not threatened by comparing herself to Mannequin. She's just like, we're both smarties. And it's just like, okay, the symbolism, like the potential misdirection of like having organs not where you'd expect. She's just trying to think about all of that stuff. And then at a certain point, she's just like, okay, I'm like spending too much time thinking about where he's coming from. Bugs fight things with shells all the time. Like, let me, I don't need to think like him. I just need to think like a bug. Like, I just need to be good at the thing that I do well, which is having a swarm of bugs. And that's all it takes, right? Like, she sort of goes down this avenue of like trying to decode Mannequin. And then she's like, or, okay, he's basically just a really annoying bug, and bugs fight bugs all the time. So I'm going to put him in a cocoon, right?
Nice.
Like, it's great. It's really, really good. And it's
what's
like,
going to happen when Mannequin turns into a butterfly?
It's playing to her strengths, right? Like, she knows what her strengths are. Yeah, butterfly Mannequin, that is truly cursed. I also really enjoy the thematic side of that, where Taylor's like, what is going on in that head of his? Like, is he cold? Passionless? Is he just screaming at all times in his own head? Like, what's going on? And then she's like, it doesn't matter. He's a monster, and I'm going to stop him however I can. Right? Again, she's really resisting the lure of like wanting to read the Mannequin interlude. Right? Like, that's not what she needs. Right? She's very happy to operate without that kind of insight, which I really enjoyed.
Would you read the Mannequin interlude on a Mannekindle?
Probably an off-brand type of e-ink tablet.
Great choice.
Yeah, I mean, I still love Mannequin's aesthetic. Like, every time he like goes akimbo or like does a weird thing where he like attaches a blade from his hand to his foot and then does like a little cartwheel kick. Like, it's so cool. I really, really love it. It's just weird and unexpected, and it really hits, like, for me, the Mannequin form and his chains and blades and stuff, it really hits that uncanny valley in a way that like gets under my skin, but in a way that I kind of like.
This would be a great episode of the animated series.
100%.
Incredible.
100%. Yeah, I like, again, right, in addition to playing dead, when she is looking for her baton, right, she is practicing stillness, using her swarm to find the baton and observe, right? And she's like, I'm not going to give any clues. And this made me wonder something.
Yeah.
It is entirely optional for Mannequin to be so expressive with his body language.
True.
But he does it a lot. He does the finger wag when he realizes what Skitter is up to. He turns his head towards her really suddenly.
Right, but
like,
his head, he doesn't see through his eyes.
He doesn't see through his eyes, right? So I am fascinated by what that means about him.
Right, he's almost like miming.
Right. Why does he still do it? Is that sort of a weakness of his that is Shatterbird being like, Mannequin, you're too attached to your conventional form?
I was thinking about that. Well, that was Taylor's question. Like, why even look like a person?
Yeah.
She thinks maybe misdirection. I don't know that his emotions, his emotiveness is misdirection, because he does kind of end up giving up, seemingly, at the end.
Right.
Unless he's just going to get back up.
It must be the ego of it, right? It's something about, like, he's the man who will never be hurt again. Or he's, like, he can't just be, like, a sphere. Like, he wouldn't just want to roll around. I mean, that, ironically, since that was his hero name.
Oh, yeah, yes.
But, like, he wouldn't just be, like, Bubble Boy, right? Like, he has to be sort of this. And the other interesting thing, right, is, again, credit to Taylor for being so freaking smart. His desire for a very aesthetic efficiency, where he's sort of this perfect, flawless mannequin with these little blades that scythe out. The obvious flaw in that is really thin blade, hit from the side, gets bent. And, like, she notices a little bit, like, oh, his blades weren't spinning quite as well after I hit them. And then she uses that again later to, like, bend it. And, like, that's also the same sort of weakness of, like, where she's able to get the gum in the works, right? Like, because he wants to have weapons to hurt people.
But also needs to be this perfect, smooth, shiny
he
surface.
Can be incapacitated, right? Like, if he had no weapons, there would be nothing that she could do to him, pretty much, right? Short of, like, trapping him and just hitting him on the head a bunch of times, right? But he could prevent that from happening easily, right? Like, it's like his weapons are the things that are his weakness in this scene.
That's interesting. Yeah, he's chosen basically mechanical invulnerability, more or less. But the fact that he still wants to be a weapon and not just perfectly defensive is a weakness for him. Yeah. Though if he didn't have any blades, he would be much more at the mercy of the spider silk.
That's true. Yeah, well, the other thing is, like, he could be more ruggedized, right? Like, if he had, like, big power armor with pockets and, like, there's sort of no reason why he couldn't do the Arms Master approach, not of, putting everything in one device, because that's Arms Master's whole gimmick, but, like, he could have a bunch of extra stuff, the way that he keeps the nanoblade in his neck. But he's foregoing that because he's sort of, I'm the perfect mannequin with a bunch of blades. I don't need all of these, like, backup systems. There's, like, that arrogance, the Lung-esque, Kaiser-esque arrogance that we see in a lot of these opponents.
Contrasted to Taylor, who's like, okay, so I have my plan that could work, but probably won't. And then I have my 2 backup plans that almost definitely won't.
Yes. Oh, my God. And that's such a nice way of doing it narratively, right? Yeah. Wildbow doesn't have to trick us. Like, the scene is tense enough. Right. Just being like, Taylor has a cool plan. We know she has a cool plan, but, like, we don't know that she can survive 2 minutes. Right. It's like, it's tense enough. And I love because it's like, you don't want to explain the plan before it's happening, because that makes it more exciting. But I love that sort of, like, it's almost over when she thinks of the plan. It's just a question of, like, how many civilians can she save in the meantime? It's really good stuff. The other interesting thing about Mannequin, right, is that he lost an arm and a head. And I don't think, can compensate for that, right? I don't think that he is, like, 6 separate, completely redundant systems. Like, I suspect that there is some unique sensors or whatever in the machinery he left behind. Like, maybe not, but I feel like he ends up being revealed to be delicate once she starts taking pieces away from him in a way that he doesn't seem like that, up front.
Yeah, it's true. He's sacrificed a lot for his aesthetic.
Yeah. I have a whole section of notes that are, like, just Taylor being awesome, which I think we've mostly talked about. But my favorite is she's like, I huffed out of breath, feeling pain in my chest with every movement. Then I smiled a little. My swarm had finally arrived.
Yes, I love that.
The cocky side of her that feels good once the 2 minutes are up. It's really, really satisfying.
And we needed that after the brutality of those 2 minutes. Yeah. She earned that smile. Whew.
I feel like that's all I gotta say. Should we get some predictions in?
Yeah, so hard to know where this is going. I'm worried about the Slaughterhouse 9 coming back. I'm worried about the water.
Last chapter in the arc coming up.
It's possible we're just going to do some, like, tidying up, housekeeping. Maybe she gets in touch with the others. I want her to get some news about Tattletale. Also Danny, but I'm not as worried about Danny. Mm-hmm. It seemed like Danny was probably going to be okay, and Tattletale, it seemed like, you know, narratively I expect her to be okay, but within the world... How's she
going to get the news if there's no phones?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like runners
okay.
from Coil. I mean, humans can pass news. I think that ending the arc with the Tattletale question still up in the air would be uncharacteristic for Worm so far, so hopefully we'll get some clarity on that.
And the clarity is that she's fine.
I think that she's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, not a great time to need medical care when...
The hospitals are overcrowded.
As we've heard
said.
And also, a lot of the equipment is probably non-functioning.
Yeah.
I know that Tattletale will get priority in, you know, Coil Run medical stuff, but it might be... I would expect it to be permanently disfiguring. Mm-hmm. And she's going to need a new costume. Good thing Taylor's making her one. I did predict very early on that an Undersider would lose a body part. Don't think this is quite that, given the type of cut it is, but I think perhaps in the spirit of that, she's going to have a permanent injury.
Yeah.
And she's a talker also.
Yeah.
So I wonder how well she'll be able to speak after this.
It's also the kind of thing that means you would lose your secret identity. Like, she doesn't have much of one.
Right, yeah.
But unless you're really careful about makeup, right? If it's visible, then, you know, how many women who have your basic features also have that scar?
Right, but if she has a costume that covers her scar, then maybe the scar only belongs to her secret identity.
Sure.
But she's not someone with much of one, so unclear. Yeah, that's kind of what I expect, but I wouldn't, given just the structure of the novel so far, I wouldn't expect a huge cliffhanger where, like, the 9 find her or the trials begin or something, but I don't know. I mean, that's not set in stone, so unclear.
Any meat to the chapter, or more of just like a debrief, hear about the loose ends, like...
I sort of more expect the latter, except that we still need to know about the water thing, so...
Okay.
Maybe that will come up.
Teeing up and whatever...
Given how many ongoing threads there are, I guess it wouldn't be surprising if we do get little teasers of the trials are starting, you know, that it would kind of make sense. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it'll be very exciting. I can tell you how the chapter starts.
Please do.
I hadn't actually slept in for a long
time. She gets to sleep. Oh, I'm excited for her to get an actual night's sleep. She really needs it. But the Slaughterhouse 9 might want her dead or something, so that doesn't bode great.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe she gets a little bit of, you know, a healing morning.
At least this horrible, no good, very bad day is over.
Yes, that does sound right.
Yes. Or the second sentence is, and I wouldn't tonight.
I don't think so. I think she gets to sleep in, and then I want her to connect with the other Undersiders.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
find out about the trials, maybe.
Next time.
On Inchworm.
Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildvote. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.